Hello guys, welcome to SMX Solution. Today we are going to discuss how we can create an Azure SQL VM. So directly we will go to the Azure portal, then we will search for Azure SQL. Then click on this Azure SQL service, then click on create Azure SQL resource. Then here you can see three options, right? On the previous classes, I already given you the steps how we can create an SQL database. Now here we will come to how we can create an SQL virtual machine. So the thing is that we will create a virtual machine as well as inside that virtual machine, Azure SQL is also SQL Management Studio also will be configured. So we will select one of the image for this purpose. Anyway, I will make this one free SQL Server license for our classes only. So I will click on the create button. So subscription, I will select already existing resource group also. I will select already existing resource group. VM, I will give one name like SQL VM, I will give. Region, I will select it as East US. If you want, you can create an availability option. Right now, we doesn't need for this purpose. This is only for the training purpose only. Then security type, everything I will make it as default. And a size also, if you want, you can adjust the size and everything. But right now, I will go with the default one. Then VM username, how you can log in into the VM virtual machine. That username, this one, not SQL database username. Okay. Then click on the other things. We will make it as the default only. It will create a virtual network and everything with default. Then we will come to our SQL Server settings. We will make it as private connection. For the SQL Server port number, it is 1433. And the SQL authentication, if you want, you can make it an enable and you can give one login name, right? I will make it as login as SQL as a username. Password I will create. Here you can see SQL data storage. If you want, you can change the storage and everything. And SQL instance settings, everything we will make it as a default only. That backup option also right now I'm not enabling here. Then we are going to create now. It is review running the final validation. After that, we will click on this create button. Okay, the deployment process, it is in initializing only. So meanwhile, what we will do is that our already existing SQL server in my local laptop, I will open now within that time. Yeah, I will open this one now. Anyway, our SQL VM creation it will take some time. So I will log in with my local system details. This is as we are using the local purpose. Yeah, it is connected. This is my local system SQL VM database details. Anyway, now after we will create that SQL VM creation, after we will finish, then what we'll do is that I will show you how we can connect that SQL VM with this my local laptop SQL. How we can connect, I will show you. I will minimize this one right now. Then we will come to our portal. Yeah, still deployment is in progress now. We can just wait anyway. Here you can see in the deployment process what are the things it is created. That means virtual machine is creating, network infrastructure details are creating, disk creation, public IP, like that everything you can see here in this deployment details. Still deployment is in progress. We can wait near to 1 or 2 more minutes. Within that time, it will finish. Now it's taken near to 6 minutes. Yeah, finally the deployment is complete. Now we can go to our resource SQL VM, right? So here you can see SQL VM public IP address and everything. if you will connect to this virtual machine, then what will happen? You can see, right? Your VM, it will be create as, and for the connecting purpose, download this RDP file. Okay. And then the VM will create. Inside the VM, you can also see that SQL Server management studio. You can see SQL Server, you can see. Okay, I'm going to connect, and here you can see credentials. This is the credentials for this virtual machine, okay, that we already created. I'm typing that credential. This is going to connect. Now this VM, it is opened. We can just wait. So then I will show you the created SQL. Server manager is opening. We'll search for SQL Server. Yeah, you can see here automatically this Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio 18 is installed in this one. We will minimize this SQL Server Manager dashboard. It is opening our SQL Server Management Studio. It is opening now. And this first time it will take some time anyway for the SQL Server Management Studio opening. We can just wait. Okay, anyway, you can see that SQL Server Management Studio, it is opened through this Azure virtual machine, right? Okay. Now, if you want to access this SQL Server Management Studio from our local network, how you will access this one? Okay, right now I already here, this is my Microsoft SQL Management Studio in my laptop, right? I want to access this one. So for the accessing purpose, I will come to this connect, then database engine. Then I will give server name, right? So what is our server? Here, if you will come to overview, that means here we have to use our public IP address, okay? But the thing I will tell you is that if you will directly do this work, it will not, you cannot access this SQL Server Management Studio. I will show you, okay? Control authentication, I will make it a SQL Server authentication. I already created one SQL Server user ID and password, okay? That I'm doing now here. Click on the connect button, but you cannot connect, okay? But for that purpose, you have to go to our VM network settings. Then we have to allow SQL Server connection. Then only you can connect this one. You can see it will not connect. After sometimes you can see that error message also. I'm minimizing my SQL VM. Just wait. And within that time, what happened? Yeah, this is my server. Okay, we opened our SQL server. Okay, then I'm connecting this one. This is you can see the public IP of that. Our Azure SQL VM. Okay, this is Azure SQL VM. Okay, and you are minimizing. Okay, here you can, this is my local laptop. Okay, here you can see we cannot connect it. Okay, so for your connection purpose, what I need to do here, you have to come to our networking session. Okay, come to this networking session. Then here inbound port rule you can see, right? So click on add inbound port rule. Then you have to create a rule. Source we will make it as any, so source port we will make it as any source port range. Destination also any. Then service we have to select our MS SQL service, and then this is the default port. Okay, 1433, and you make it as add this option. Okay, then you can try. You can wait. We are creating the security rule now. And just wait. Yes, security room, it is already created. So now we can check what will happen, right? So I will come to my local laptop, SQL Server Management Studio. Again, I will click on the connect button, database engine, server name. I will give our Azure SQL VM virtual machine IP address. Authentication, I will give SQL Server authentication. Then SQL Server authentication user ID and password I will give now. Click on the connect button. Now we can see what will happen. Yeah, you can see here our SQL Server details. You can see it is already connected. That's the thing. If you will come here, you can see here, right? Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. We can see on our next video. If you like it, please like it. And if you for getting more videos, please subscribe.